Hi, I'm Rin, and I'm here at the Commonwealth Center for Holistic Herbalism, and I want to make a video about Father's Day. So whether you're a really sporty kind of a dad, or whether you're a do-it-yourselfer kind of a person, I pretty much figured that anybody is going to need to have a joint liniment at some point for sprains and for strains, and this particular formula even works for bruises and contusions and other fancy words that basically mean you fell down and bonked yourself, because that happens to just about everybody that I know, so it's a good thing to prepare for. So my joint liniment formula is actually pretty straightforward, and I'm just going to give you my kind of standard go-to formula here. What I like to start out with is an infused oil of St. John's Wort. So a lot of people think about St. John's Wort as a remedy for depression, but when you apply it topically, it's really fantastic at restoring the health of nerves. And so St. John's Wort is really useful in here to bring health and vitality back to nerves that might have been injured. You know, I fell on my wrist and I sprained it and I pulled some, and the nerve is irritated and in pain. So the St. John's Wort is in here in the form of an oil. If I was to let this settle down, then you'll see the oil will separate. So it's a mixture here of the oil and also a tincture, and that means you got to shake it really good every time you want to use it. So St. John's Wort oil is the base of it, and that might make up like a third of the liquid. And then the rest of it's going to be a tincture blend. So tincture is like an alcohol extract in my plants. And I'm going to combine Solomon seal and alder and lobelia and cayenne and a little bit of peppermint and then a touch of essential oil. So the tincture portion there, all of those herbs have relevance to the healing process, right? So the majority of the volume is going to be Solomon seal. That's a plant that's really useful for restoring the proper degree of tension and the proper degree of hydration to connective tissue. So when you strain something, it's like you pulled it, you stretched it out, and that dehydrates the tissue. And your connective tissue, it takes a while for the fluid to get back in there so it can heal well. So Solomon seal accelerates that process. It's really, really key for this. The other herbs I've mixed in, I've got a little bit of alder bark, and that's primarily to serve as like a pain relieving agent and an anti-inflammatory. So alder is, you could also use willow bark there, you could use meadowsweet. These are plants that contain something called salicylic acid or salicylates, which is compounds that involve that chemical. And so that helps to relieve pain, and there's a complex of other elements in that herb that help to reduce the feeling of irritation and pain that's present in the wound. What else was in there? So a little bit of peppermint there, because the peppermint has like a kind of a cooling effect, and that gives us a sort of an icy hot feel between the peppermint on the one hand and then a bit of cayenne on the other hand. The cayenne is like hot and fiery and spicy. Peppermint has that menthol effect that feels kind of cooling on our nerves when we put that on. So the two of them together give it a kind of an icy hot feeling, and that's really good for soothing pain. Pain isn't always just about dulling nerve activity, and especially with herbal remedies, it's really more about complex of actions, right? Reduce inflammation, increase circulation, and with the cayenne and the peppermint here, we're stimulating some nerves that are doing more than just sending a pain signal. So they send that heat signal and that cold signal, and all of that coming in at once, it kind of tones down or drowns out the pain signal. So it's very effective as a pain relief agent. The herb lobelia is in there. Lobelia is a really strong relaxant. That means that it releases tension. Oftentimes when we have an injury to a joint, there's compensatory tension in the muscles around there that hold it tight so it doesn't get hurt any further. Lobelia is going to release that and allow that to let go and to not hold on to that and cause further pain. So that's a really useful blend. And these are in here in all different proportions, you know. Like I said, the St. John's Wort oil is like a third of the bottle, the Solomon seal is another third, the alder's almost up to the top, and then the lobelia, cayenne, peppermint, that's just like the last 10% of the bottle is those three in combo. And then into all of that, I drop about 9 drops per ounce of liquid of my clove essential oil, and that's going to serve to help to drive this into the tissues a little further and get that to dig deeper into the body. So I know I went through that recipe really fast, but if you check out our website, commonwealthherbs.com, and you click on the blog there, scroll down a bit and you'll see Go To Joint Liniment, and it's this exact bottle. On the day that I mixed this up, I decided to write out my recipe and post that in the blog, so you can read more of the detail on it there. But again, you know, having a liniment like this, having something for your sprains and strains is really helpful. So, you know, whether you're sore after coaching Little League, installing a basketball hoop, or any of the other amazing things that dads do for their kids and that my dad did for me and my brother and my sisters when we were young, this liniment is for you. So Dad, I'll mail a bit to you pretty soon, and thank you for all that you've done for us and for all the bumps and bruises you received along the way. Hope we can get a little herbal relief for that for all of the dads out there. So thanks, see you next time.